Hello everyone, my name is Deckerlink, the trained unprofessional, and welcome back to Echo! There's been a number of updates since last we met. You might see, I put on my cursor vision, so you can see they added a little anchor to the little mouse. But I'm gonna turn that off because if I don't pay attention to it, it'll just be sitting there in the middle of everything. Because I don't use the mouse when I play.
Just be that teacher in middle school.
Right. Just take your freaking cursor off the fucking play bar.
Please move your... And then she accidentally, starts the video all the way over, or clicks out of it, and you're just like...
The worst. The worst. Once again, we are on Jenna's route, because it's the only route that isn't done. Been a little bit. Last time I recorded was last month. Last time an update came out. Imagine how that fucking works. One other thing has changed since then. I have gained an audience member for this series since last time I recorded this game.
Smarmy fuck.
It means so much to me that you watch. Bri watches the series now. It's going to take her a while to get to this particular episode because she's catching up on all the completed series first, which is smart. And this one isn't done all the way yet. But when she gets to it, she'll remember, and she'll probably punch me or some shit.
Incoming!
Truly. What the hell? Jenna repeats herself. She's sitting in the back seat, still peering out the rear window with a boggled expression plastered on her face. Yes, boggled even. I hear ya. What a fucking mess. At least now we know they were hiding stuff about Carl. I try to shine at least some optimism on the situation, however faint that it is. We came out here to get information, and we did learn there was information to be had, so not a complete wash. I don't believe for a titty fucking second that Carl's dabbling in crank. Not saying they're responsible, but they do know something. Honestly, I don't believe they have the wherewithal to plan and successfully carry out something so malicious as a kidnapping. Flynn lets out a long sigh, keeping the truck steady along the dirt road with one hand while the other rubs his scaled face. That doesn't help us figure out what the fuck to do next. Where are the goddamn cops? I'm the fucking city clerk. Why am I stuck doing this shit? There's a silence in the cabin, Jenna turning back around to peer in Flynn's rear view mirror at him. Because you're his friend, and you care about him. Flynn seethes at these words. That's not helping, Jenna. I pull out my phone, holding my thumb over the display button. Only 50% battery life. I'll have to remember to charge it later. There will be no later! What day is this? Is this Saturday? This is the day that never fucking ends. Should I text Leo? Text him what? That you want him to raw you again? Jesus. Flynn lets out a little huff and Jenna gives the lizard a stern look. What? I mean about what they just told us. There ain't no reason to. It's all pussy willow lies. What the fuck does that mean? After a while, sighs, what? In a slightly defeated tone, reaching into his pocket and holding up an antiquated-looking phone. Flynn reaches into his pocket, holding up his slightly antiquated-looking phone. I feel like that was... What the fuck happened? That was a coding error. That's what
happened was the original line was, he sighs and takes out his slightly antiquated phone. And then they were like, wait, no.
Yeah, we forgot
I thought of a better line, but then he forgot to delete. I've been there, buddy.
Oh, bud.
I've been there hardcore, friend.
I'll just post in the group chat a quick summary. While you're driving? Okay. I'll make sure to let them know how sketch they were being. I nod, despite the fact that no one is currently looking at me. Oh, shit, we're back at the motel. That buzzing. I step outside into the cool air, letting my feet rest on the hard asphalt of the parking lot. I stand there, enjoying the openness of my surroundings. You can only be cooped up with 2 other people in one room for so long before it becomes increasingly apparent you're all just breathing each other's air. TJ had tried to keep Leo company today while they went out looking for Carl, but TJ was saying Leo was really distant. They ended up getting to the little recreational camping spot right before the lake, and Leo just said he had to go. Left TJ there without a ride. Dick! He said he didn't mind because he enjoys the walk, but Leo's behavior had him worried. Jenna steps out beside me, fidgeting some with her hair. Tough day, huh? She responds quietly. So if we're going to search tomorrow, have you... I'd actually rather not talk about Carl in the search effort right now, if that's alright with you.
Fuck, Jenna, God.
Jenna pauses, crossing her arms over her chest. I know that sounds bad. Bad, apparently. But we truly are doing everything we can for him. Absolutely above and beyond. We've got a few more places on the outside of town that Flynn and I were going to look at, as well as some more phone numbers to call. Flynn's going to text us with all the details in the morning, so that's settled. I let out a small exhale of relief. I honestly have no idea where else to look, so props to them if they were able to scrounge up a place or two. Well, what did you want to talk about then? Jenna leans up against the nearby post, luminescent light giving her fur a slight halo effect. Really? She's looking at me now, eyes tired and that very faintest of smiles crossing her muzzle. To be quite honest, not much talking is needed. Her smile grows less faint, her tired demeanor shifting to something more akin to cozy warmth. It's infectious, and soon I'm smiling just the same. Your company is fine enough. Really? She nods. Well, same for you. That's good then. It's very good. Great. She lulls her eyes, standing there with that look like she's waiting for something. It takes me a second to realize what for. Oh, so, I'm just gonna step over here and take one comically large sidestep over towards where Jenna's standing. The tail swishing behind me in a low arc before slapping down on the pavement. Jenna lets out a little amused noise as she peers up at me, her own tail flicking in a contented sway. Oh? She cants ahead, putting on a front of innocent curiosity as I approach. Whatever for? Well, maybe to do something like this. I place my paws on either side of her face. Her fur is so much softer than mine, with no oily sensation to it at all. I rub my thumb across her cheek, then lean down to plant my muzzle against hers. Our lips meet. Her touch is gentle, a comfortable yet intimate pressure. Soon, she opens her mouth, and I find myself doing the same. With Leo, it was always some kind of tongue battle for dominance, which of course can be fun, but right now, this is nice. I can feel goosebumps on the back of my neck as her breath meets mine. It kind of smells like oatmeal. Had she been getting into my dinosaur egg oatmeal packets I bought? Hey, no, dinosaur egg oatmeal. I hope not. I only have a few of those. Jenna pulls back after a few seconds, her face radiant and glowing. She looks content, despite everything going on. She hums to herself in thought. I take her smaller paws in mine, interlacing our fingers. Something on your mind? Just never kissed a guy in a motel parking lot. She looks up toward the sky. At night. Oh. That response was not exactly what I had been expecting. Just everywhere else, then? I tease, quickly putting on a big goofy smile to emphasize how much I'm joking and hoping to God she doesn't get offended. Right. I'm just making sure I remember to add it to my list. She says this with complete deadpan before pushing away from the post and turning to head back inside. Wait, I was just messing with you. Oh, I know. She walks past me, swinging her arm and smacking me squarely on the ass. The shock of it renders me completely off balance. Oh, it has been quite a long time since someone's done that to me. And I feel my face flush with heat as Jenna walks away. I can see her proud of herself, smile stuck to her muzzle even with her back turned. And God, what a backside. I was so nervous when we did it before, I guess I didn't really have time to appreciate things. I wish I could sleep in your bed tonight. I speak without thinking, and Jenna stops, her paw on the door handle. The audible thunks of TJ fussing about inside punctuate the silence. What's stopping you? A genuine question, but she doesn't stick around for the answer. And then I'm alone. With a little sigh, I rest my side against the same post Jenna was, closing my eyes again and just letting the surroundings sink in. Again, it's usually humid out, especially for spring, where we usually get less than an inch of rain a month. Monsoon season isn't set to start for another 90 days or so. Holding my paws to the sky and let my tongue loll out, tasting the ozone in the air. It's the closest thing I can get to being in water right now. Not counting the shower, of course. I mean, actually being surrounded in something vast and wet, like a moist blanket that you can let carry you away. Speaking of moist blankets, TJ had been in the bathroom for like an hour, and I really gotta piss. Step away from the high-pitched buzz of the fluorescent outdoor lighting, heading out around the bend of the motel and into the wash nearby. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I recognize that picture. It takes me a second for my eyes to adjust to the darkness. The desert at night can look pretty strange. Like the absence of the sun sucks all the color out of the world. It makes trying not to fall into a ditch all the more difficult when everything starts blending together. Once I find a good spot hidden away from any of the motel windows, as if anyone else is there, I turn my back to it and get to leak taken. I'm making a concerted effort this time not to piss on myself. If that happens twice in a row, Jenna's going to start thinking I have a fetish or something. Water sports. Why do they call it water sports anyway? If you are actually into water-based sports, you can't really talk about your hobby without the perverts in the room thinking you like piss. Ugh. To be fair, there's much worse stuff out there to be into. God, ew. I remember for the longest time, Flynn had this whole reputation of being into scat. Like, it started after someone called him a shit pusher because he was gay, and of course he told them that he was and loved doing it. Then that got all ambiguated in the high school social mill until Flynn was apparently spending his weekends diving into septic tanks. God damn. Flynn wasn't remotely pleased when that stigma didn't go away. And of course, I thought it was hilarious. Strangely enough, that never got applied to Leo and I, even with all of our PDA. I guess, oh God, that was a click. There's a crunching noise beside me. Dry bramble being tread underfoot and the sudden scuffling of dirt. The noise stops as soon as it starts, and I glance over, realizing I'm not alone. Who the fuck is it? It could be anyone. Who is it? Oh, of course. It's this guy. What the fuck? I blink. Must have finished pissing a minute ago, but here I am, still holding my prick. Micah stares at the aforementioned before looking back up at me. Quickly shoved myself back in my shorts, nearly tripping over myself as I stepped back away from him. Damn it, where'd he even come from? I was taking a leak. The fuck you were, schizo? His voice is strange, distant. In fact, he looks completely out of it, as if his comprehension of the world around him is delayed. You were just standing there staring off into the great dark nothing, cock and paw. Jerking into the void, that's how you defeat it? What are you talking about? Why are you even here? Micah points a half-lidded stare in my direction, his fingers wiggling around the edges of his tank top. He's not so much looking at me as looking right through me. I'm a bad and it's night. I could be wherever I want. So you want to be here? The voice echoes so clearly in my mind, I can't help but say it out loud. So you want to be here? Fuck, no! He sniffs, his answer spoken with a tired, slurred tone. I mean, I'm here 'cause there's dick all for me out there. What the fuck? I mean, I'm here 'cause, there's dick all for me out there. What the fuck? Wait, you talking about right here, right now, with you? I look into his widened pupils and slowly nod. Shit. Micah rubs at his face, pinching at his own lightly fuzzed cheeks, his gaze still a million miles away. He's exhausted, or at least appears so now. Like someone on the tail end of a ride on a fierce upper. You can't put sleep off forever. Shit. I'm only half awake right now, and that's the worst way to be. It's like how when you're dreaming, you're flying, but when you're having a nightmare, you're falling. It's always falling. What the fuck? Micah steps back, his heels hanging off the edge of the wash, and I'm sure he's about to tip over into it. Without thinking, I reach out for him, but he seems to lean away from my paw. The hell am I doing? Don't touch the junkie! Let's just get out of here, back to the motel room. Behold, I was shaped in iniquity. What? He extends his tattooed arms and shows off his wingspan. Before I can say anything to respond to the bat's ramblings, he tips backward like he's expecting someone to catch him. Oh, shit! You okay? Silence. Start creeping closer to the edge to get a look at him, but a small voice rings out from within. Fucking ow. It goes quiet again as dust plumes rise up from the ditch. Finally, another little grunt. I don't like the spooky music. No, where the hell am I? Son of a bitch. Oh, he's gonna think we pushed him in there or something. As I peer over the edge, I can tell it's about a good 3 or 4 foot drop. Nothing too dire, but definitely not pleasant. Micah's dazed gaze meets mine and quickly narrows. Of course, it wasn't just a dream. I stare blankly at him, wheels turn into my head for a second. Wait, you were sleepwalking? If that's what you want to call it. Did you just have your prick out? I ignore the question. Your dream made you do a trust fall into the dirt. I thought you were tweaking out on drugs or something. If only. Micah slowly pushes himself up onto his feet and climbs out of the wash. His backside is completely caked with dirt and goat head bramble. Tries to pick out the stickers from his fur, wincing at each pluck. I thought there was water in there for some reason. He thumbs over his shoulder. There's probably not going to be any in there for another few months. Yeah, fuck, I'll be gone by then. Micah shakes his legs a few times, some more dust scattering to the wind. Having white fur like that must suck in the desert here. If you even get the slightest bit dirty, everyone can see. For me, everything just sort of blends into the brown fur. He squints at the building nearby and lets out a little astonished noise. I made it all the way out to the motel. That doesn't even make any goddamn sense. Fucking hellfire, man. It's just getting so much worse. He shakes his head. He's clearly lucid now, but I don't know if he's really talking to me. You doze off for 1 minute, then everything's an absolute shit show. Cold chill creeps down along my spine. This is all sounding real familiar. Pot helps, keeps the bad vibes down, but it's a quick fix for something that you never know when it's coming. I've been having something similar happen to me, I think. Really bad dreams, mainly. His gaze snaps to me as if he wasn't expecting me to actually respond to him. Fucking really? No shit. The bat extends an arm out to his surroundings, gesticulating at everything and nothing all at once while his wings flap about. You ain't the only one, musk fuck. You ain't seen how it's been. It's real shit down on Jasmine Street. The hum gets bad there. The hum? I frown, unnerved by the bat's words, but not really sure how I should start questioning them. You wouldn't know. After all, you're just having a little fun trip and then fucking right off. Micah says this like it's a bad thing. However, I'm not guilty about wanting to get the hell out of here at the soonest possible convenience. When we find Carl, of course. So, you're gonna leave town too? Micah glances over at me. Yeah, you should go soon as well. But he'll be back. But she'll be back. They all come back. We all come back. What are you on about? I'm honestly not quite sure myself. The words just sounded right at the time. I shrug. I guess that's just what it feels like to me. Not everyone does. His tone shifts more melancholy, the young bat reaching into his pocket and flipping out an old cell phone for a moment. Looks like one of those cheapo ones that you buy the call and text messaging for per usage. Burners, I think it's called. After a moment, I realize who he's referring to. I never really knew Keith. Sorry, he went missing. He stops messing with his phone, yellow eyes flicking back up to me. You didn't know him, and you're not the reason he disappeared, so stop talking like you're personally involved. I feel myself starting to get a little frustrated. Don't know why I'm still here. In fact, I don't know why Mike is still here. He's just lingering about, even after he's claimed to come this way due to sleepwalking or whatever. What was Keith doing before he went missing? This is the point where I seem to have Micah's full attention. He glances around for a moment before stepping forward, lowering his voice to a quiet rasp. What he was always doing, schizo. Trying to fix people. He'd see somebody who'd be utter shit trash, and then find their inner spirit or whatever. You know, native shit. He thinks for a second. Well, native light, whatever. Keith was one of those weird kids who read philosophy books in school. He helped all of us, of course, and I thank him to bits for it. Screw-ass didn't know his limits. Started getting chummy with his supplier, this big bear bastard named Brian. Oh, Christ. Wait a minute. There was a scene where we saw Brian fucking, torturing the fuck out of a holy shit, we saw that. I think it was in, Flynn's route, wasn't it? That was Keith. Whoa, man. Holy shit. Supplier. Keith dealt drugs? Bitch, everyone deals and gets dealt an echo. This ain't a surprise, or shouldn't be. So let me get you off your moral high horse right now. He squints in thought. Yeah, now that I think of it. Was it your mom the one that let Sven miserably plow her for Oxy? What? I can't help but be taken aback by that one. No! You're saying your mom didn't take Oxy? No! She had back pain issues and took Percocet, but that's it. That is Oxy, bitch. And enough about your whore mom. Fuck you, he huffs. He's so full of shit, just like before at the bonfire. I dip my paws into my pockets and turn to leave. Get a couple of steps toward the motel before I hear the bat rasp from behind me. Hey, don't be a bitch. I keep walking. The shower's probably freed up by now, and God knows I could use it. If not just for the water, but for the time alone. No, wait. Seriously, stop. Chase. I hear a frustrated sigh. Chase, please. I need to talk to you, serious-like. I turn, and if his sight is any good, he can get a good view of how done with his shit I am from my expression alone. Keith tried to help this supplier turn his life around, all that. I hesitate. I didn't expect him to start talking about Keith again. He saw the goodness in him, etc., etc. Before all this, Keith would always take me out after school on Fridays. We'd go fly in those RC planes we tinkered with down by the river. I mean, it sounded about as much fun as plucking pubes to most folk now, but little me loved it. The moment he started getting close to Brian, that stopped. We saw him less and less until... poof. Keith's gone. No one knows where he went, including Brian. So claimeth he. And I had nothing left here. My anger with the bat begins to fade as he looks me straight in the eye. There's something about the tone of his voice that's different. Like this is actually a matter he'd thought about for a long time. Micah, are you? I exhale, stepping forward and lowering my voice. Are you trying to tell me something? Something about Carl? No! I'm trying to get you to whip out your dick again. The runty bat's nostrils flare as he steps closer. Oh my god, is he implying that Brian has Carl? I cover my crotch with my free paw and he rolls his eyes. Do you want help fighting the rich fat kid? I hesitated as hostile phrasing, but begrudgingly nod. Any information at all could help at this point. Yes, I want help finding Carl. Do you know anything that can help us? Cool, and hopefully. He didn't speak for a time, rolling his cell phone in his paws. Don't report anything about to tell you to the cops. I'm genuinely trying to help you here, but I need you to swear to that. Sure, whatever. I swear I won't tell the cops. I lie. Good. Nothing I did is really illegal, but it can be implicating us all hell if you don't find your friend. Is it about the meth that you guys said Carl was taking? No, that was bullshit. I knew it. Well, Flynn knew it. Like hellfire, I'm gonna start ratting fuckers out in front of everybody. The Hendricks house was marked. Jeremy tipped Clint off that Carl was staying home alone. Clint then brings me on to scope shit out. Just before midnight, at 11. I could see well in the dark, and got a good look at their alarm system. That's when I noticed two big glowing eyes staring back at me. I don't know what happened, but there was a flash, and next thing I know, I'm falling from the second-story ledge into the rip-rap. The photo. That was Micah. The flash of Carl's cell phone camera. That has to be it. He took a picture of you before you fell. We found the photo the next day. The bat's lips tighten. Well, fuck me then. Guess it's good that I'm getting ahead of this. It barely even looked like you, I think. The picture was all distorted. I tried to wave off his concerns with a reassuring tone, reshifting the conversation back to Carl. What happened next? Micah sighs, speaking up again. Next thing I hear is a whole shit ton of thudding. Like, da-lunk, da-lunk. I couldn't move. I didn't want to start sprinting off while anyone inside was still looking out the window. So I huddled up in a blind spot, and the noise kept going for a solid 30 minutes. Then a fucking hell of a cloud of the sound of wooden boards snapping inside. Next thing I know, the fattass is taken off into the desert, completely spooked. Which direction? South, I think? Anyway, he holds up his basic-looking cell phone. I gave Clint a call, told him what happened. He started freaking the fuck out on me, cussing and swearing and spitting up a storm. Kept insisting he needed to call someone. And that's the last I heard of it. Spent the next 12 hours nursing a bruised tailbone in an abandoned trailer off Route 65. Well, god damn. Actual answers. This is all really helpful, Micah, but why are you telling me this? Why are you ratting out on your friends to someone you hate? The bat groans aloud, a look of exasperation crossing his tired features. Have you been listening at all? There are fuckers out there I don't trust, and if there's anything that can be done about putting a boot to their asses, I'm down. For Keith. The bat taps at his phone a few times before handing it my way. Give me a number. I'll keep you updated on what's going on. The supplier guy I mentioned will be coming into town. I'll see if I can get some more info out of him and Clint about the RAM. I take the phone, slowly using the tiny button-based numpad to put in my number. There's probably a few ways it can come back to bite me in the ass, but at this point, I'm pretty damn desperate for a lead. Just never would have expected it would come from Micah, of all people, and willingly at that. I mean, you can trust it? And here I thought you hated me. I don't care enough about you to hate you, schizo. I hand the bat back his phone, unsure how to feel about that response. If I don't hear from you by the time we have to go on Sunday, you should get the fuck out of Echo. Ooh, his tone fell flat. A matter-of-fact statement that he believes doesn't need further explanation. I nod in response, wondering if it's too late to take my number back. Well, if that's all... I glance back to the motel. Micah looks too. Yeah. Yeah, actually, one more thing. Huh? I perk a brow in his direction. You still with that wolf boy, Leo? I remember him getting skittish about him earlier. He's acting nonchalant, but there's definitely something more to his questioning than casual curiosity. The answer to the question itself is also a complicated one. Not really? Why do you ask? I don't give a shit. He looks down at his phone as he says this. A lie? Then why'd you ask? He talks a lot of shit. Was wondering if he ever talked shit about me. Uh-huh. Micah folds his arms over his chest, staring at his phone screen. To be honest, I don't even recall a time he mentioned you by name. It's the truth. Out of all the Jasmine Street kids, Micah was the one I never really heard Leo talk about. Figures. They're fucking. What? What? I'm out of here. I'll text you in a bit. The bat turns and heads off. Once he disappears around the corner of the motel, I take out my phone and tap over to our group chat. There's the teaser picture. Friday. Oh, so that was just Thursday. We got 2 whole fucking days left, dude. Oh, fuck, dude. This is fucked, bro. Oh, fucked. I'm a great swimmer, I swear it. A young woman's voice. It's distant but near. Like a video with the volume nearly all the way down. I strain myself to listen more closely, and the spoken words start to come into focus. Oh my god. What the fuck are those lights in the distance? That's doubtful. You're a Yodi after all. A man's voice, but also barely audible. I'm inside the cabin of a large vehicle. It's rickety, and I have to hold on to something from shaking all over the place. I can see 2 people in the front now, their silhouettes pronounced, but I can't make out their faces. It's like they're distorted water droplets on fresh ink. The one in the passenger seat is a woman, a coyote. She has lots of jewelry. Not that I can see it, but it jingles around whenever she moves. It reminds me of my mom. The man on the left who's driving is an otter. He's wearing a hunting cap that's too small for his noggin. Whenever he turns his head, I catch a glimpse of him in the mirror, his face blurred. The only part that's distinguishable are his eyes, like shining blue headlights in the dark. I think I'm seeing things from his point of view, even though he's not really me. The cabin behind the front two seats is empty, like a van. In fact, it feels like there are more people behind me, but I can't look over my shoulder. I'm stuck, shaking around in between the front seat and somewhere in the back, near the rear cabin doors. Yeah, and you're a dirty species, Dave. Dove, whatever. Dave. Fucking. The times are a-changin', and you best get with 'em, elsewise I might need to find myself more sophisticated company, you hear? The woman responds. This is all so familiar for some reason. Deja vu. Jan, you read dirty novels and eat fast food like a hog. I've heard of Masada witch doctors who are more worldly and sophisticated than you. He grunts, laughing a little at his joke. Oh, please, darling, reading a little novella with the word penis in it ain't gonna damn me straight to hell. Second, I got my own income now, you know, a job. You might hear of one someday. I can use the money I make from said job to buy whatever I want that makes me feel special. Sometimes it's a little romance book at the drugstore, and sometimes it's a large vanilla milkshake with extra cherries. Third and final, I don't think the Masada have witch doctors, they got shamans. Met one once. He was a very nice old man, about 4 feet tall too, pocket-sized. The woman sounds rather pleased with herself for countering all the man's comments. The man lets out a dismissive noise. You met one, huh? What'd he do, sell you a love potion? You know, the chitter of laughter at his own joke. I don't know, hon, you tell me. You reckon it's working? Her tone is flirty. I can practically feel them both smiling. I'm outside now. My head's spinning. I'm walking, but it's not my body that's moving, it's someone else's. Movements are slow and deliberate, a stab of pain when my body's left leg moves too high or the joints rotate at the knees. The fur on their arms is ice white, and the muzzle is feline. Some sort of big albino cat. Hey! Trudging one foot after the other beside the highway, caught up a strange daze. Sepia-tinted memories fill our head of places that look straight out of Southwestern Adventure's frontier quarter. Man, I wonder who this is. These recollections are his existence, and the physical reality in front of him a fading dream, something that causes pain to traverse. This world is not his home anymore, as much as it hurts him to think that. One of his feet steps upon the pavement, then the other, crossing the lanes to walk directly down the little yellow line down the center. The people he loved are all dead, but he doesn't want to join them. He just wants them back. As his own senses fail him, the memories in his head keep getting more and more real. They're there in his mind. He can see the stitching in their clothing, the smell of their fur, the chuckle in their voice, the touch of their paws, the taste of their lips. It's such a sad way to be. I'm back in the van. The otter and the coyote are trading glances with each other now. The more brusque, I don't know what that word is, personality of the otter seems tempered by the coyote, like he's trying not to take himself too seriously around her. Oh, I get a bad feeling. We're in a car, and then there's someone walking in the road. I wonder what the fuck's gonna happen here. The radio is playing something now. Something that was there before, but I couldn't quite make it out. It's not music, just voices. Drawn out, distorted, mostly unintelligible. I catch something that sounds like nervous laughter from a high-pitched voice. Then a more baritone one responds with something reassuring. It's okay. At least that's what I think it says. Finally, a squelching noise, like squishing soft putty between your paws. Feeling that something is behind me and the van grows. I've been here before. I know I have. But when? No matter what I do, I can't turn around. Even the rearview mirror reflects a distorted image. I could just barely make out something back there. Undulating in constant restless motion, strobing between pulsating flashes of faint red light. There's applause, like someone clapping. The handles of the rear cabin doors seem to shudder and click like someone is trying to open them from the outside. That's impossible. We're moving. Feels like I'm yanked back out onto the road again, with the old man walking down the center line. The memories in his head grow more perspicuous. Another word I don't know. Perspicuous. As he walks. As if it's building towards some great zenith or a point of total clarity. I'm not sure how I know this. There's a rumbling of an engine coming up from behind, puttering in rhythmic fashion. Again, I can't turn to face it, but I know it's there, and it's getting closer. The engine roars, it's coming up right behind me. I don't think I'm ready for this. Not yet. Fuck. The fuck am I doing? It's the high-pitched voice from the radio. Oh, damn it. I can hear it now, clearer than ever before. You're doing great, Shula. The baritone voice. That was Leo? The albino, older man stops, turning as if he heard this too. Heavy breaths escape my throat and splay forth, fogging up the windshield. The two lovers exchange a kiss, eyes lulled. There are lovers in the back as well, fumbling with themselves in the same red light, that same red light that bathes the entire sky. The cabin doors fling open and I can finally see the person who's been trying to get in from outside. A runty-looking, amber-eyed otter stands there, wearing an oversized blue t-shirt and khaki shorts. It's me. I'm younger, and I don't have the goatee. Somehow, I'm just floating behind the moving vehicle as if we were standing still. The color in young me's eyes starts to fade before shifting to an icier blue. He shrinks, and soon the figure standing there is a little boy in his swimming trunks. Sydney. What does he want? Another shift. Sydney springing up with distorted, jolty movements. The transition is nowhere near as smooth as the first. An otter in his hunting cap. Far too tight for his head, those same blue eyes piercing right through me. Bronson. Mr. Bronson. Sydney's father. Is Mr. Bronson also the one driving the van we're in? I see no reaction from the blurry figure in the driver's seat, still more occupied with the coyote next to him. He's only there for a second before his face practically tears away in jagged artifacting. Mr. Bronson twists in on himself, expressing uncaring as it falls apart and fades into ragged white fur. The elderly albino on the road. It's him. At least I think it is. His silhouette is more abstracted, the detail of his features somehow darker. His form floats there for some time. I keep waiting for it to shift, but it doesn't. Instead, it turns its head and looks directly at me with stark red eyes. They widen, still peering, and I try to step back, but I can't move. Like fluorescent bulbs, they begin to illuminate, blinding me as they grow closer and closer. I hold up my paw just as the old man's mouth opens, about to speak. What? Thunk.
Dennis, are you okay?
Bronson, what did you hit? Bronson? Bronson, don't just sit there. You answer me right now. Janice, hey. Janice. We know Janice. She goes fucking nuts in other routes. I don't know. Jesus, sweet Mary Christ. Mr. Bronson is despondent while Janice is starting to get frantic. Everything's dark, but I can still see a slight red splatter on the center of the windshield. A large chunk of fur is caught in the wiper. Mr. Bronson steps out of the vehicle, his blurry form flickering into something a little more focused. I can see the whiskers on his face like they were my own. His heart is practically beating out of his chest, his fur damp with cold sweat. The fear is electric, buzzing hum which permeates the landscape. Are they hearing it too? I decide to move with him, seeing from his point of view. Mr. Bronson covers his face, paws trembling. He can't see anything in the darkness. The otter nearly leaps out of his fur, startled by the voice. It's a weak, desperate cry, a gurgling of pain. It follows and it immediately after. Mr. Bronson runs to the source of the pathetic sound, Janice getting out of the van as well. She clutches her bag to her side, her high heels clacking against the asphalt. Bronson! Oh my God! Oh my God! I see it. I see him. The albino feline is stuck, wedged between the fender's skirt and the wheel itself, a space about a foot wide. He's practically folded into it, legs snapped upward and jutting out the side. Wild red eyes dart from Mr. Bronson to Janice and back again. Can't tell if he's pleading for help or asking why. All I know is he's in excruciating pain beyond the capacity for tears, just instant shock. Images flash before his eyes, and now he's not looking for anyone at all. He's devoid of movement beyond the rapid heaving of his chest. Jesus! She screams. His shoulder's caught right under the tire, and he's bleeding. Oh, God, Bronson, we gotta do something. I know we gotta do something! He shouts back at her, eyes nearly popping out of his head. Jack. Janice gasps at the old man, begins to speak again. A look of realization crosses her no longer blurry face, and she points toward the back of the van. Get the jack! Mr. Bronson blinks, but then quickly rushes to the back to get his toolkit, flinging the doors open. In place of obscure lovers or a mound of tarantulas burrowing into each other as if trying to hide from the newly opened doors. Some are blondes, while others are the more standard rust and black color. He does not seem to notice or care about these creatures, which flee from his presence, instead diving for his little olive toolbox. I try to step away, but I'm stuck seeing through his eyes now. He flings his tools around, hammers, wrenches, and rebar clattering to the side. No Jack. Mr. Bronson stares, motionless, until Janice's shrieking voice breaks to silence. What is taking you so long? Get him out of there, Bronson! The otter exhales shakily, then makes his way back to Janice, giving her a blank look. Help me lift. What? I said help me lift! You're kidding me! You don't have a jack! Shut up and help! Mr. Bronson slips his paws under the side of the van next to the wheel, squeezing his palms against the chrome. Janice quickly does the same on the other side of the wheel. On 3, lift! Mr. Old Man, we're gonna get you out of there in no time. You just gotta slide on free once this goes up, okay? She tries to put on a reassuring voice, but the albino just stares past her with those intense red eyes. 1! Bronson, I don't know if I can do this. 2! She shakes, tears beginning to well up within her eyes. Oh, God! 3! The van creaks as it begins to rise up off the ground, at least on its corner. Jenna screams at her own exertions, muscles spasming as her arms shake. I can't! The old man begins sliding his broken legs down the side of the wheel, and one of his free paws grabbing the side of the fender's skirt. Low moans escape from inside his chest, whimpers of unimaginable pain and shock as his crushed bones realign themselves inside him. He makes it most of the way out by the time Janice's arms give out, the van instantly lowering back down a couple of inches. I'm sorry! Fuck! Mr. Bronson spreads his legs wide, his muscles quivering as he tries to hold up the whole van by himself. Go, go, get out of there! He screams down at the albino, his blue eyes meeting the albino's as the old feline begins to nudge himself out from under the wheel. No! No! The otter howls as the van continues to lower despite his best efforts. The old man feels that it's touched inside. The old man feels it touch the side of his muzzle. What? Janice, if you can't hold the fucking van, help the man! His breathing quickens, arms reaching for something, anything to help him. Then some gentle pressure. Oh my god, don't, no. His eyes are bleary and moist now, like a lost child's. Then more pressure. And then... Janice screams. She screams and screams until her vocal cords fray like old yarn. Wow. That... Wow, man. That's incredibly sad and tragic, and god damn, man. And then if that really was him, holy shit. I've got no words for this. I've got nothing. I don't know. I'm gonna leave you on that one. I got nothing for that. I'll see you on the next episode, guys. Bye.